An unlikely pregnancy we hear a lot about during the season of Advent is that of the Virgin Mary, which truly is a very unlikely pregnancy. But another unlikely pregnancy is that of Elizabeth, who was the wife of a priest named Zachariah. She was old and believed to be barren way past the window of motherhood. But an angel of the Lord comes to Zachariah and says that Elizabeth is going to have a son. When Zachariah hears this, he responds, "How can I be sure of this?" And his mouth is sealed shut for his lack of faith. So after months of being silenced, his son John is born, and Zachariah's lips are loosened, and he bursts forth with this epic, lovely passage of scripture that we find in Luke 1. But it's not him just praising God for a healthy baby boy or that his barren wife was able to give him a son in the first place. It's him praising God for sending the promised Messiah, and that his son, who we now know to be John the Baptist, was going to be a prophet that would give people knowledge of this Messiah. I've written a song called Someone to Hold that is inspired by this passage, this song of praise by Zechariah. And a line you'll hear in the first verse is from C.S. Lewis's Lion, Witch, and the Wardrobe, where Mr. Tumnus is speaking to Lucy and trying to tell her about this terrible spell that the White Witch has cast over Narnia. And he describes it as always winter, never Christmas. And later in the book, when Father Christmas finally appears to the children, he says, "I've come at last. She has kept me out for a long time, but Aslan is on the move." So Father Christmas arriving to them is signaling this sign that winter is almost over, things are happening, the king is coming, which is exactly what John the Baptist would do for Jesus. So I wanted to paint a picture of how long this waiting period must have felt like for the people of Israel, having been promised the Messiah hundreds of years before. In this process of waiting, they've had to endure a lot. They've had to endure persecution and even exile. But then Jesus comes. God does fulfill his promise. And this Messiah comes no longer just as a hope or a promise to hold on to, but as someone that they can actually see, hear, touch, and hold.